Now let's understand how is alternate current generated. And assume this to be a coil and magnetic field passing through it. Now we know EMF would be generated only when it is cutting the lines of force B, or rather when the coil is rotating this way. Alright. At initial time t is equal to 0, the coil is this way, and assume at that time t the coil has covered angle theta. So when it covers angle theta, what happens? This is the axis of coil and this is B at time t is equal to 0. But when it rotates via angle theta, this becomes the axis. Now axis has moved via theta. Normal has also moved via theta. Alright. So the effective magnetic field that the coil experiences now is B cos theta. You know, this is as per resolution of vector. Alright. So if this is B and this is theta. Now since the axis has moved via theta, so even the normal which is there has moved via theta. So now the effective magnetic field on the coil is B cos theta. Alright, as per resolution of vector. Now NA is effective area of coil. This is the coil. Alright, this is the coil. Now coil has number of turns N and the area covered in the coil is A. So effective area in the coil would be number of turns multiplied by area, NA. So B we know is equal to flux over area, but now it would be flux over NA. So flux would be NAB, taking this there. When the coil rotates with angle theta at time t, that is from here it has come to this place, at time t, effective magnetic induction would be B cos theta. Okay, and that B cos theta we got into resolution of vector. Now flux is equal to, our formula was flux is equal to NAB. Alright, if it would have been straight like this coil, then the formula for flux would have been NAB. But right now the coil has rotated by angle theta. So now instead of B, it would be NAB cos theta. Now we know omega is equal to theta by t, therefore theta is equal to omega t. So we can also write it as NAB cos omega t. And as per Lenz's law, E is equal to minus d phi by dt. So minus d of this value. Alright. So when we differentiate this, we know that 1 omega constant comes out and cos gets to sin omega t. Now since we know that cos on d by dt of cos gives negative, so this negative and negative on differentiation gets cancelled and it becomes positive. Negative multiplied by negative owing to differentiation of cos gets positive. Alright, so it is positive NAB omega sin omega t. Omega also we know it is 2 pi f frequency, 2 pi by t or 2 pi f NAB sin omega t, since omega is 2 pi f. So this is yet another formula for EMF. Alright, when the coil is rotating. Earlier we saw bar rotating, for which we got this formula. Now we are seeing coil rotating, so we get this formula. Alright. Now furthermore, now to get E max value, sin theta can have maximum value as plus or minus 1. Alright, so when it is plus or minus 1, E would be equal to plus minus NAB, this is omega, NAB omega. So we represent that as E0. Whenever we say E0 subscript, that means its maximum value. So the maximum value can be plus or minus NAB omega, or E is equal to E0 sin omega t. If now we want to represent this formula again, then we can, instead of this entire part, we can call it as E0 sin omega t. Alright. Now since value of sin omega t varies between plus 1 and minus 1, the polarity of EMF also changes with time, generating AC current. Value of EMF would vary, it would be 0 as the value keeps on increasing from 0 to 90, the value of EMF also would keep on increasing. It would be positive again. Then from 90 to 180, at 180 again it would become 0. Then when it comes to 270, again it would become negative 1 maximum. And then again when it comes to 360, it would be 0. All right. So if we get into this, now see, it would be, when it is over here, it is 0. So it would be maximum when the coil moves and comes here like this. Then it would be 90 degree maximum. And then again it goes to 180 degree when the coil rotates and comes to 180 degree over here. Again it would be 0. Again on rotation, when it comes here, it would be 270 degree. It would be like this. So when it is 270 degree, now again it would be maximum. The EMF generated would be maximum, but in the opposite direction. Then again when it rotates and come back in its original position, it would be 0. So this would be keeping on happening that ways, right? Theta 0, 0 EMF, theta 90, maximum EMF, theta 180, 0 EMF, theta 270, maximum but in opposite direction, and again 360, 0. So that's the reason why we get alternate current whenever the coil is rotated in a magnetic field. All right.